Today I will be sharing with you some alternatives to the top 10 baby boy names of 2015. Much like my video on the top 10 baby girl names of 2015, which I will link down below and in the cards. This is part one of a two-part video because otherwise it would literally be a half-hour long. Today I will be talking about names 10 through 6, and in the next video I will be talking about names 5 through 1. The only newcomer to 2015's list and sitting at number 10 is Benjamin. Benjamin is a Hebrew name meaning son of the right hand. I think Benjamin is a cute name. I think it's a sweet name. I do know a lot of Bens that are my age. There were always 2 or more Bens in like my elementary school classes. It's been popular for a while, and it wouldn't be odd if somebody was looking for a less popular alternative to it. First, I have Benedict, and Benedict is a Latin name meaning blessed. I really like the name Benedict. I think it's really posh. It's 3 syllables, just like Benjamin. Starts with the same Ben sound at the beginning, and you could still use nicknames like Ben, Benny. But other than that, Benedict is a very unique name. It is not in the top 1,000 and was only given to 151 boys in 2015. So if you're looking for a truly unique alternative, Benedict could be the right one for you. The next alternative I have for Benjamin is Benson. Benson is an English name meaning son of Ben and sat at number 470 in 2015. I love the name Benson. I think it's a really fresh take on the name Benjamin. I think it's a really cute name and could be especially perfect if the father was named Benjamin, because son of Ben would be a very relevant meaning then. It also fits in with the other son ending names that are very popular right now, such as Jackson and Madison. Yeah, it just really fits in, but it's not too popular. The next alternative I have is Bennett. Bennett is an English medieval form of Benedict, meaning blessed, and it sat at number 153 in 2015. Once again, love Bennett. I think it's a great alternative to Benjamin because it has that same Ben beginning, and it's just a great name that could make a great alternative. At number 9 in 2015 was Michael. Michael is a Hebrew name meaning who is like God. Michael has been popular for a very long time. I know a lot of Michaels. I think it's definitely time for some new names to get into the top 10 because these are names that I definitely grew up with, and I know a ton of people with them. Michael is obviously the name of the archangel. It's probably very popular because of the fact that it's recognized by both Jewish people and Catholic people and Christian people as a religious name. The first alternative to Michael that I have for you is Micah. Micah is a Hebrew name meaning who is like the Lord. It's very similar to Michael in meaning, in sound, in origin. But you can still use all of the same nicknames, Mike, Mikey, etc. However, it sat at number 108 in 2015, so it is much less popular than Michael, which sat at number 9. Micah is probably my favorite alternative for Michael because it is just kind of like a spunky alternative and a unique twist on the name. The next alternative I have for you is Malachi. Malachi is also a Hebrew name and it means my messenger. It sat at number 162 in 2015. So again, it is much less popular than Michael. I love Malachi because it just has a very unusual sound to it. Even though it is technically quite popular, I think it's unique in the way that it sounds. Like, I don't know many other names that sound like that. Malachi. I do know a little boy named Malachi, and I just think it's a really cute name and a great alternative if you love the name Michael. The final alternative for Michael that I have for you is Mikhail. Mikhail is a Basque and Scandinavian variation of Michael, has the same meaning, but it was only given to 19 boys in 2015. It is extremely unusual and a great alternative. It has a similar sound and similar origin, so I feel like people who like Michael may also enjoy Mikal. At number 8 in 2015 was Alexander. Alexander is a Greek name meaning defending men, and it is truly a timeless name. I love the name Alexander, but it is quite popular. The first alternative to Alexander that I have for you is Sander. Sander is the Dutch and Scandinavian diminutive of Alexander. It has the same meaning, defending men, and only 22 little boys were given the name Sander in 2015, so it is not in the top 1,000 and it is very unusual. However, it shares a very similar end sound with Alexander. The next alternative I have for you is Alexis. Alexis is a Greek name meaning defender, and it sat at number 343 in the top 1,000 in 2015. I love the name Alexis for both boys and for girls. I feel like it's one of those truly unisex names. Even though it is a little bit more popular for girls, I feel like it works really well on both genders, and you can still use the nickname Alex, which is obviously a favorite for parents that love Alexander. Parents that love Alexander may enjoy Alexis because it's less popular, but you can still use the same nicknames and it shares a very similar sound and meaning. The last alternative I have for Alexander is Alistair. Alistair is a Scottish version of Alexander, and only 194 boys were named Alistair in 2015. I love Alistair because it has that Harry Potter association, Alistair Moody. I just think it's a really classy take on the name Alexander, and kind of a little bit of an unexpected name because it's not in the top 1,000 and it's quite unusual, yet it's a very usable Alexander alternative. At number 7 in 2015 was James. James is an English variation of Jacob, meaning supplanter. I love the name James, however, it has been very popular for a very long time, much like many of the other boys' names on this list, and it's very understandable that people may be getting a bit sick of it. So the first alternative I have for James is Thames. Thames is a nature name. It refers to a river in London, and less than 5 baby boys were given the name Thames in 2015. However, I think that because it has such a similar sound to James, it could gain popularity, and people are loving nature and place names, and this name is both. So I think Thames is a very viable alternative to James. The next alternative I have is Seamus. Seamus is the Irish variation of James. Like James, it means supplanter. And in 2015, it sat at number 948 in the top 1,000. So it is quite unusual, unlike James, but it still has the same meaning and shares some similar sound as well. The final alternative I have for you is Jones. Jones is an English surname derived from John, meaning God is gracious. I think Jones could be liked by parents who love James because it has it's a similar one-syllable name with that S ending and the J beginning. It's really simple and kind of like just classy, simple and classy. Jones is very unusual, however, only 106 baby boys were given the name Jones in 2015, so it is a very unusual but great alternative for James. At number 6 in 2015 was the name Ethan. Ethan is a Hebrew name meaning strong or firm. I think it's a really sweet name, a really simple name. The first alternative I have for Ethan is Stellan. Stellan is a Swedish name meaning calm. Only 90 boys were named Stellan in 2015. I think parents who like Ethan might also like Stellan because it has that similar AN ending. The second alternative I have is Eben. Eben is also a Hebrew name. It's a diminutive of Ebenezer, and it means stone of help. Only 74 baby boys in 2015 were named Eben. I think that Eben is like a really great alternative because it has a very similar sound to Ethan, and it also shares that Hebrew origin that may be what draws people to the name Ethan. My last alternative to the name Ethan is Ether. Ether is also a Hebrew name and it means abundance, but it's extremely unusual. Less than 5 baby boys were given the name Ether in 2015, so it is as unusual as it gets, and I think it's a very viable alternative because it has a similar beginning sound to Ethan, and it also shares that biblical origin. So that's all I have for you today. Please let me know what your favorite alternatives to the top 10 baby boy names of 2015 are. I feel like it's a little bit harder to find viable alternatives for boy names because there's just so much less creative wiggle room. People just love the classic names when it comes to boys. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to have a conversation with you.